Everyone, welcome back to the live stream today. We have the Unaka roof rack. This is the Explorist.life edition. Oh man, live streams. Let me get this to fall on my face and we'll try that intro one more time. Here we go. Are we following? There we go. Okay. Let's try that one more time. Guys, welcome back to the live stream. This is the Unaka Explorist.life edition roof rack, and we're going to start assembling it today. This is part of our roof rack install where we're doing, we're pretty much copying the Explorist.life edition setup. So if you don't know what the Unaka and Explorist.life collaboration is, go to unakagearco.com. and you want to click on Ford Transit Roof Rack and check out the Explorist.life edition. So Nate from Explorist.life, they partnered together and created this roof rack to utilize as much of the Ford Transit 148-inch wheelbase roof as possible. So to maximize the solar so that every square inch is used, and I think it gets about, let's see, what was the figure? 570 watts of solar up top, which is really cool. So it consists of two 200 watt panels, two 55 watt panels, and then two 30 watt panels. And these are rich solar panels. And what I found out kind of diving into this, Nate from Explorist.life, he has a YouTube channel. You guys should definitely check it out. And the last two were designed specifically for this roof rack. So they were custom designed, the 55 watt and the 30 watt panels, to fit around the pneumatic X3 AC unit, which is in the back, and the max fan that's in the middle portion right there. So we decided to go with this setup, one, because we wanted our customer for the van behind us, we wanted to maximize the solar on the roof to keep everything topped off as much as possible. Two, the pneumatic cooling, the AC unit is an excellent unit. We are going to go with the new 48 volt version, X2. So the one in this photo is the X3. We're going to go with the X2. It's a little bit smaller, but it's an excellent unit. Actually has more BTUs than our current RTX 2000 has on our current van that we just got done installing the 12 volt AC. So between 12 volt and 48 volt, you have massive efficiency gains, and we'll be talking about that in a future video. But this is pretty much what we're working with today. This is part one of our install series, and what we'll be doing is today we're probably, just for live stream purposes, we're just going to assemble these two rails. We'll talk about the fairing over here and the additional rails right here that are to support the solar panels that go on here. But yeah, I have not installed one of these before. I went and watched the Explorist.life video, so got a head start on, you know, where all the bolts, nuts, and screws go. But if we come over here back to the computer, we have a step-by-step instruction PDF that you can just go to their website, scroll on down, and then right here there's a link for the install manual. It'll bring this window up, and then here you can actually go through and work on it. So we're not going to be doing this or putting this together on the floor because currently do not have any room to do this on the floor without pulling the van out. And so we're going to do this on the workbench over here. So what you want to do is, if you can, have this laid out on your garage floor or outside. Be careful that you don't scratch it up. It is all powder coated, and even though that is a strong coating, it can still get scratched relatively easy, depending on what it is. So we're going to lay it out. We're going to come over here to our first step which is pretty much just joining all the panels together. And what's nice about this system is it does ship pretty compact, and then you kind of take it all apart, which I did earlier today. But we'll get to putting these side rails together. We'll come in here and we'll put some brackets on, and then that might be as far as we get into this first part. And then the next step after this, so after you get to this part where the positions go in the van, what you have to do is we're going to have to take the plastic caps off the top of the roof rack of the Ford Transit to allow us to access the threaded nut inserts that are made for a variety of roof racks that go into the Ford Transit van. So we'll have to take that off, and then what we'll do is we'll come back to this, and then we'll just slightly relocate these brackets to get everything nice and flush and square on both sides. We'll want to make sure that we measure from the front of the rack to the front bracket here, or the first bracket, so that we can have them square on both sides of the van. And then what we'll do in part 2 is we'll come through, we'll put together our fairing. We'll go ahead and locate the roof rack on top of the van, again removing those caps, and we'll go from there. And one thing before we jump into the install, double check, well, not necessarily double check, Ford has a tendency, the way that the roof shell of the van is adhered and the bars, the crossbars in the van are glued in, believe it or not. The offset of this hole is usually an issue. So you might have 7 out of 8 that are perfect, and then the 8th one is way over here in the corner. And what you're going to need to do is be prepared to have a Dremel tool to drill out a little bit so that you can cut away and open the hole up to allow access for the bracket to sit flushly. It's the only thing where you're actually having to kind of get into the van sheet metal. You'll definitely want to make sure that you put some rust preventative, some paint on there to take care of that. So that's something that's, get ready to do that, because you will have to do that unless you have a unicorn van to where it's not like that. But I've done this on, not this roof rack, but other roof racks 3 times, and each time, this will be the 4th time, and I would not expect anything different as far as the hole goes. Then we'll move into the next part. We'll be putting it on top of the van, lining everything up. Again, this front part, we're going to want to make sure that we get the same offset from each side of the van, so it's just nice and even. So when we put this together today, we're kind of loosely putting everything together so that when we get it on top of the van, the majority of the work is done, but then when we need to do some micro adjustments, we won't have all the Loctite and all that stuff making it hard to finish the install. Let's see if there's anything else to kind of go over. We'll finish the series with doing the lap sealant around the top of the van. I go an extra step, and what I'm going to do is before I put the bracket down, I'll actually put some black RTV in a circle around this so that when it comes down, we got a nice seal on the bottom. There'll be this rubber gasket on top, and then the die core will go around the top of the van. And if you don't know what die core is, it's a self-leveling lap sealant, very common in the marine RV industry. When you buy it, it's pretty much going to be in a white tube, but you can buy it in the black tube color. So that's what I would do, just make everything look nice and neat. It's extremely runny, so a little goes a long ways. Because it's self-leveling, it will actually kind of ooze around, so don't put too much down when you're actually sealing it. It gets pretty messy. Then we'll finalize this by starting to put our solar panels on the adjustable racks, or the support racks that it has. And one thing that we're going to, the reason we're doing the roof rack first for this van conversion, this is the first part of this van conversion, is we need to find out where our max fan is going to land with our pneumatic cooling X2 unit in the back. So what we have is the X2 unit that we're using versus this one is the representation of the X3, which is a bigger unit. We may have a little bit more room to move the vent fan either forward or back. I'm not sure if that's going to be possible. So that is kind of what we're looking at, because we want to get the roof rack first, get all the panels down, stuff that can't be adjusted, installed. Then the next step, we'll go and find out where we need to cut out for the max fan. The X2 is going to have a fixed position because it's in the 14 by 14 slot, which is at the rear of the van. So these two crossbars at the rear of the Ford van have a 14-inch gap. And that's where your max fans typically go, also your AC unit go. So this will be interesting because we'll have the two solar panels in the front, and then whatever the space becomes is what we'll have to adapt to going forward in the build. So we want to get all that handled so that we know where to actually drill for our roof penetrations, for the solar wires, cables, and stuff like that. And we're kind of doing this top to bottom. Let's see what else is down here. So that's pretty much it. So that's what you can expect in this series. I'm not sure how many parts it's actually going to be right now because we are live and we're just starting to work on this. But if you have any questions, put those questions in the chat below and I'll definitely make sure we get to them. So we got Daniel in the chat. Hope you're doing well. All right, guys, let's go ahead and start with this setup. So in the Explorist.life video on their YouTube channel, that's the best one that's what I would recommend that you guys watch. I'm going to go ahead and drop it in the chat so that you guys can see the link to that video. Let me go find it real quick. Okay, I got that copied. Here you go. So that is the link to the Explorist.life video. This is Nate and Steph from the channel. So their channel, Explorist.life on YouTube. They also have a website. And you'll need to go to their website to purchase the solar panels. So you go to Unaka for the roof rack components. You go to their website for the custom solar panels. Those combine together and you have a kit. Let me grab my phone and see if you guys have any questions while I'm streaming here. All right, so the first part is there will be some pieces of powder-coated 80/20 aluminum rails. So these are the 15 series, and we want there's two sizes, you'll see. The longer one goes in the front, and then the shorter one goes in the rear. We have a hardware pack, so we get a hardware pack for the rear, which is the side rail hardware kit. We have a side rail hardware kit for the front of the van. All right, give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna put you on a little commercial break. I got a UPS delivery. I'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. We just got the EcoFlow power kit for this van delivered, which is really cool. So let me get back to my camera. All right, my camera has let me down. There we go. All right, let's get back to putting this together. So the front one is going to be longer, the back one is going to be shorter. You're going to have 2 rear side panels and then 2 front ones, driver passenger. So pretty much just kind of like a mirror image. We're going to start by combining the first 2 pieces. So let's go ahead and check out the instructions on the first part. Yes, right here we're going to take these 2 metal brackets and we are going to combine the 2 side rails. So we'll do the passenger and then we'll do the driver's side. So there's these 2 brackets right here and we'll start putting them together. And guys, anytime during the live streams, you're always welcome to ask any questions. It doesn't have to be related to what we're actually working on today. It could be, anything that's going on. And if you're just now joining us, we are putting together the Unaka roof rack Explorist.life edition for our new 2021 Ford Transit build behind us. It's an all-wheel drive 148-inch high roof van for a new customer. And this is our first part of the build. So I'm recording this. I always record my live streams to the computer, and what we'll do is we'll take out some snippets in the future and we'll put together a install video for this. So before the live stream started, I went through and did a quick unboxing of the roof rack, and then tonight we're just I like to record and work at the same time because I can do 2 things at the same time. All right, so we got this, we got these 2. This camera is not it's not cooperating tonight. Also, if you guys are just joining, check out UnakaGearCo.com. So this isn't a sponsor video, but we're doing this roof rack because it's a pretty cool collaboration between Unaka and Explorist.life. They've maximized the solar on top of a Ford Transit 148-inch wheelbase. So every square inch of the roof is taken care of. You can still fit an air conditioner unit. So they're using the space mapped out for a pneumatic cooling X3. We're going to be using an X2, slightly smaller. And there's room for a max fan together. So we decided to use this because I think it's the best of both worlds, and I'm really excited to just see how it all gets put together. We're just going to be going back and forth referencing this. All right, so we got those screws. There's supposed to be 4 more washers, but I don't see them in the pack. What we're mainly doing today is we're getting this assembled so that when we bring this up to the roof, everything is, 90% put together. There will be a little bit of an adjustment when we get up on the roof, so just be aware of that. We'll have to adjust these brackets that go on top of the roof to get everything lined up. All right, I got a question here. So that's a good question. Let me pull up, I'm gonna pull up this. So my rough estimate, I forgot, there was a website that I looked at. So the Ford Transit can hold, I think it's 75 pounds per mounting point on the roof. So that'd be 75, let's see here. That's 75 times 8. So it's about 600 pounds. So don't quote me on that, but I'll look up this website in a second and see. Ford. Okay, that was for, okay. So this right here, this is really hard to read. There we go. So don't quote me on this. This information is hard to find because it is, for some reason, when I go to search for this a lot, this says it's 22 Transit Owner's Manual. Let me see if this is it. So we look at the low, medium, high. Okay, this actually might be accurate. So if you notice, so really quick, low roof is 419 pounds, medium roof is 331, and high roof is 220. Now, these numbers are the, I believe, the dynamic load for the roof of the van. So what that means is this is the max weight of your roof rack and components while you're driving down the road. The static load should be different than this. Again, I don't have the most accurate information for you, but in my experience, these numbers I go with to make sure that I don't have components like solar panels, AC, max fan, roof rack, all that good stuff going over that weight. So that's a safe dynamic weight. So to answer your question the best that I can, the roof rack, this is not going to be an issue. This, as long as you're distributing the weight along the load of the crossbars, you'll be able to have two people on the roof. Now the wood is the concern, because that weight of the wood decking material, stuff like that, that is where you're kind of going to get in a little bit of a pickle, because even though wood seems light, it's not that light. I'm going to show you a company, it's ABC Rig. So they have aluminum panels that go on top of a van. Let's see if I can find they just came out with this product. Here you go. They're called cargo deck panels. And so what they do is they span the roof rack, and they're, let's see what size they are. So let's go to, give me 1 second. This is a really good question. That's why I'm taking a second to answer it. So if you go to let's see here. If you go to vanbuilderhq.com, let's let this ad get away from here. Okay, go to vanbuilderhq.com, go to the 2023 Adventure Van Expo Evergreen, Colorado. And so we talk with ABC Rig, and we have them take us around their vans to do a van tour. And the new component that they came up with is right here. So this is their aluminum deck panels. So they're very light, very strong. They're designed for 80-20. So they span the different parts of the roof rack, and no problem. You can have two people up here on these panels. The aluminum is light, designed for the 80-20. So they're using their roof rack, but as long as you're using 80-20 bars, you can use it. I would assume Flatline Vanco with their 80-20 bars, you could use them. ABC Rig's roof rack. And if you wanted to put these on in Unaka as well. What you want to be careful of is going above that dynamic load to where when the van is driving down the highway and you have to go and maneuver around traffic or avoid an accident, that's when going too heavy on the top of your van is going to be dangerous. It gets even more I don't want to say dangerous, but it's just the way it is. More weight on top of your roof, and if you actually lift your van up, so that, raising that center of gravity, it all affects that. And you'll feel that once you get your roof rack loaded, and if you lift your van and then you get on the highway, you'll feel a much different type of a van. But I guess that's a long way to explain that if you can go with these aluminum panels, that's great. Trex decking, so the plastic Trex decking, just think of using a small area of the van to work with, as opposed to doing the whole entire van with a piece of wood, just to keep the weight down as much as possible. I also talked to Ross Monster Vans, and let's see, I went on top of their roof. So this is something called a safari style roof rack. They're very expensive, but they have this mesh grid, so you can definitely, you know, walk on it, put a walkable solar panel, that type of thing. There's different options, but again, long story short, low roof 419 pounds, medium roof 331, high roof 220. So this is what you want to have when there's nobody on the roof and it's driving. If you have a big party on top of your van, I can't promise that it's going to hold the weight, but as far as I know, building vans, the equipment on top of the van, I don't like going over those numbers that I just told you. So hope that was a good answer to that question. You just have to be careful. If you look inside the van, you know, it's meant to hold ladders and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of people that do overload the top of the van and nothing really happens. But yeah, just wanted to give you a heads up that driving characteristics of the van drastically change the more weight you add, which is pretty obvious, and the safety is a concern. So. The bolts on here, we're using a 3/16 Allen wrench, and we're using a 1/2 inch little stubby wrench to put this together. Awesome. I'm glad that was a good answer. Yeah, my whole philosophy is I just want you guys to be safe when you're building your vans. It's exciting to put a lot of stuff, you know, have a party deck up there. So as long as when you're driving, you're not overloading the van when you're driving. That's my main concern. When you're parked, engine's off, you're kind of hanging out, you know, it's up to you what you want to do on top of your roof. A lot of vans that I've seen, you know, 2 people up there, maybe even 4 people, as long as the weight's distributed around the roof pretty equally. I've been to a lot of van shows, and there's usually about 4 people or 2 people up there, just kind of hanging out. So that seems to be okay. Yeah, the driving load's the one that I just like to harp on. You may have wondered, why did I get the Unaka roof rack after all the stuff I'm talking about with the solar panels and everything? If you've watched me or listened to my ideas or opinions in past live streams, ABC Rig and Unaka have the widest roof racks for the Ford Transit currently. And what's really good about that is it has to do with the solar panel market, solar panel sizes. And what I've found is, you know, 60-inch wide panels seem to be pretty available, and they tend to maximize the solar that's on a roof. And I like to go with them. However, like the current van that I'm working on, I love Flatline Vanco products, but the roof it's like 57 or 58 inches wide, and it's just not wide enough to accommodate that panel. So you have to compromise on how big of a solar panel you're putting on the roof. And so for this build, I've recommended to my customer that we go with the Unaka because we can do a lot of things with one roof rack. We can maximize solar we can have this arranged so that we can fit the new X2 air conditioner unit on the roof, and obviously have a max fan. Everybody needs a max fan. Now, what Nate recommends in his video, so Nate is the Explorist.life channel, is that we're not going to over tighten anything, because we need to make sure that we have a little bit of flexibility when we put this up on the roof, as far as front to back with these brackets. So we're just going to take our time with putting all this stuff together, and when we come up there, it's a little bit of double work, but we'll Loctite everything when we get up there. Okay, so we got this panel. This is for our driver's side. Actually, no, this is going to be our passenger side, the way that I did this one. Let's go ahead and take our other pieces. Now we're going to put in the T-nuts. So you guys know me working with 80/20. These are the T-nuts that we're going to be using to put into our... So we've got 4 for one side, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the other side, and I think maybe there's one in the middle. I'm not sure. I think there is. We're just going to slide these in here, and then we're going to go and reference our instructions really quick. All right, so let's see where we're at. All right, so we got that taken care of on the inside. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the flanged ones. Okay. So one thing I would actually, a little improvement that they could do is for the DIYer, instead of having to, so I'm going to have to get a tape measure and measure out where these go, which is not a big deal, but and get like a marker. So 1, 24, 40, 58. All right, so the first one's here, 1 inch. So we're just gonna put a little dot. So 1, 24, 40, 58. 1, 24, 40, 58. That's not that bad. So it's an inch here, then you skip the first 3. It's the middle of the 4th one, 5, middle of the 6th one, into the 7th. So my next question for these guys is going to be where are we putting the L track? So it looks like it's butted up right to the front of the rail. Okay. So this front one here, we're just going to go ahead and lightly hold it down. All right, guys, while we have some people on the live stream, I wanted to quickly tell you guys about the DIY van build cheat sheet. So if you haven't heard of the DIY van build cheat sheet, this is a free curated list of my last 3 years of Amazon purchases for the shop. So if I bought it on Amazon, I've organized it and put it in this Excel sheet. You guys can search it, and all you have to do to get this sheet, just put your email address. It'll be sent straight to your inbox. It's completely free. It's got everything from, electrical, some cargo storage options, fasteners, hardware, solar, tools. Tools is the best part about this. These are the weird kind of tools that I've gotten off Amazon. So like the rivet tool, crimping tools, the PEX tools. One thing we'll do in a future video, you can actually hit Control F. You can type in, let's type in pump, and you can see it turns up the Seaflow water pump with the Amazon link. And this is the pump that I use in all my vans. It's a nice pump. I don't have to have an accumulator. It ramps up nice and easy, but the point is you can go through and you can type in like solar, and then you can go through and look at connections, solar panels, stuff like that. So it's a really nice sheet that has over 250 curated items. I'm always updating it. We'll have a new format in the future, so really excited to put that out there, but we're still working on that. The good news is you sign up, you'll also get that one when we update it as well. But yeah, check it out. It's the DIY Van Build cheat sheet. You can go to vanbuilderhq.com, or you can click on the link in the description below to download it. If you go to vanbuilderhq.com, you'll be able to look at our blog post as well. So we have all kinds of different articles. Let me pull this up real quick. So we got a lot of blog posts, articles that go into a little bit more depth on stuff that we're working on. So for example, this over here, We talk about how to design and install a camper van solar panel system. So this is the top of Marine One, which is our van build that we did for Thomas, and go through and talk about the components we used. This is actually the one for my personal van, 200 watts of Renogy solar. And then this is fully maxed out roof of Thomas's van, 2 max fans, self-supporting awning. We got 550 watts of solar up there, so really cool. But yeah, check it out, vanbuilderhq.com. The blog is just, it's great. A lot of good information, and we have some more articles that are getting ready to launch pretty soon. So yeah, just wanted to mention that while you guys are hopping into the live stream. But we're going to keep going here. Get this all put together. So for these, I'm going to get the second one in, and then I will go back and do some Loctite, because I know I will put Loctite in there. So let's look at the instructions to find out how many T-slots we're going to need for the back of this versus the front. So the back one's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the back has 5. So that makes sense now. All right, so we've got 1, 4, 19, 40, 57. Yeah, I would say for a little improvement would be, especially if this is, you know, a DIY or install product, if they could manufacture some hash marks into the panel, I think that'd be helpful for you guys. Because I'm sure some of you guys will be doing this in your driveway, you know, it's snowing or raining or I don't know, something like that. I know I have the benefit of this nice shop, so. All right, so it is 1, 4, 19. So where's our marker? So 1. So 1, 4, 19. $40. Make sure you guys verify the instructions, because 19 is technically 19 and a half, but I'm putting it on the center here. And then we got 40, and then 57 is the one at the end. 57. Okay. All right. You might have to change the directions of the T-slot because things are pretty close together. And the 5 on this short one, actually, one goes to this first. So that's kind of the... So you need to slide it across to the next one. All right, nice. Flip this around. How are you guys doing in the chat? If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Does not have to be related to what we're working on today. All right, I think let's see here. Nope, I didn't. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, make sure everything is really kind of butted up next to each other, because that is what's going to give this roof rack its strength. And Nate talks about in the video, we have this overlapping joint here and overlapping joint here that are offset. And this one, you probably want to go ahead and get pretty snug. All right, let's check out the end piece. There's an end cap somewhere. Okay, the end cap goes in the end because we got the front fairing. I don't see it on here, but I'm going to assume where it goes. So we got this plastic cap, which is designed to go on 80/20. And there's this screw goes in it, and we're going to put it at the back of this rack. Okay, we're going to set this aside for the moment. Guess we need to make I need to get an Allen wrench for that. All right, 1 second. You guys can check out Nova hanging out on the ground while I find an Allen wrench for there we go. All right, so I'm going to assume that this is going to go in the end, and it's going to self-tap itself into the aluminum, which is pretty normal to do. There we go. Don't go too hard, but we put this in the end here. All right, we've left our front open. All right, next step, we are going to go and let's see here. see if we can scroll down the instructions for our next part. So we have these mounts that are going to be on the inside. Let's see if they tell us. There we go. So this is what we're following next, is we need to find out, we need to get our brackets. We need to line them up. The front is the 0 mark, and then we'll work our way back for the measurements. So I'm going to zoom in pretty big so I can see this. But we're going to start here, go back, and then mark off the front of each bracket. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we need to take this and we need to flip it over. Our next set of hardware, so the one we just used is the side rail hardware kit. We're going to jump on over to our bracket hardware kit. And we're going to need 4 brackets. And they're kind of stuck together in shipping, so you just have to kind of peel them apart. So we'll have one there, one here, one here, and one here. Let's get our marker out and our tape measure. I'm going to start from the front and go all the way to the back here. So 11.5 inches is our first one. I got 11.5. I'm going to move this because I need a tape measure closer. So 11.5. That's the front. And then we've got 40 and 7/16. 7/16, man, that's very accurate. $79 and 13/32. All right, it's a little too accurate. 79 and 13/32. Okay, we're just going to put a notch at 79.5, and we will adjust it when we get on the roof. And we got 99 and 7/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. $79 and 13/32. That's funny. All right, let's go ahead and put our T-nuts in. We're going to need 2 T-nuts per bracket. I knew I shouldn't have put that cap on. Don't put the cap on until you're done with the T-nuts, because now I have to slide them all in from one side. I can't come from down here anymore. Okay, bracket 1, bracket 2. Yeah, and definitely with these, again, all this is just, we don't want this too tight. Remember our little line, that is the front of the bracket. So measuring from the front to back, the mark is at this top part of the bracket is where we're measuring. So if you guys are wondering, let me just show you one more time. So the front part of the bracket, right here, the front, not the very, very front, but this first notch back. When you put these on, push from the bottom up. That would be my recommendation. All right, guys, I'm gonna put you on a quick commercial break. I'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. So we're almost finished with getting all the brackets put together here. All right, so let's check out, get my camera to work again. There we go. All right, so we just lined up all of our brackets here, and then the next thing we're going to do would be prepping the roof. So we're going to prep the roof in the next part of the video, so that'll be part 2. We'll probably get to that tomorrow, because tonight I'm going to finish up the other rack as soon as other rail as soon as I finish. And yeah, we'll get to that. So we'll do the front fairing tomorrow, and the removal of the plastic caps on top of the van. And let's see what else here. Yeah, that'll be good. All right, let's recap what we did. We got both of the side panels put together. We got that mounted to the 80/20, and we haven't put any of our Loctite or anything like that on there, because what we want to do is make sure that we can adjust this when we get up on the roof rack. So we'll do that tomorrow. We'll go ahead and take those caps off. We'll get our sealant and do all that good stuff. So, all right, so let's close this out. Let's go over the DIY van build cheat sheet real quick. So if you guys haven't checked out our DIY van build cheat sheet, this is a curated list of over 250 items from the Amazon purchases that I've made for the shop over the last 3 years. It's essentially an Excel document that you guys can organize. You can put in a little search here, like for like a water pump, for example. It's going to come right up, and it's just going to help you if you've never bought parts for a van and you want to have some stuff that's kind of vetted, actually been purchased by me. It's on this list. All you got to do is go to vanbuilderhq.com or click on the link in the description below. You can download it completely free. I think it's really going to help you out on your personal van build, so check that out. Also, we have Odyssey Custom Vans, so that's my custom van conversion business. The van that we're working on behind me is our next build. This one right here is the one that we currently have for sale. So if you want to take a look at it, you can click on our video of our Venture Van Expo Chattanooga, Tennessee trip that we did. And we did a quick walk through the van. We got a couple of components that we're finishing up on that, but we want to go ahead and put it out there that this van is for sale. If you want to look at the options on the van, check it out here. We've got a nice list of the vehicle base. It's a all-wheel drive Ford Transit, 148-inch high roof. It's got the EcoBoost V6. 600 amp hours of lithium iron phosphate for the power system, and a bunch of extras down at the bottom. We have a couple photos to kind of get you started, getting excited about this van being for sale with the components inside. So go ahead and check that out on the website. If you guys are interested in buying this van, contact me, sales@odysseycustomvans.com. My phone number is right here. The best way to contact me is to click on this link. It pulls up a calendar that you guys can check out. Go in here, pick a day, pick a time, and we can hop on a phone call, talk about the van, and if you guys want to come by and check it out, you can definitely do that. Just schedule a time on the calendar. If you're looking for a personal van build or professional van build, on the left-hand side, I have a little overview of a consultation. So just some things to have in mind if you're looking for a professional build with me. Some little notes before we have a call, but same link for that. Click on a time, pops right on my calendar, and I can hop on a phone and answer any questions that you guys have. All right, that is going to do it for the live stream tonight. Guys, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, put those in the comments below. Make sure you guys are subscribed, like this video, share it if you have anybody that is putting a roof rack on their van and they're looking for a couple of options. This is one. I mentioned ABC Rig as another one, and then Flatline Vanco is another good option as well. But until tomorrow, we will see you guys on the next live stream.